All right, Brian Ingram. Nice to see you. Nice to bring you in here for a little interview with Eye on Pilot Point. As you know, I'm Aaron Rocha. I have a few questions for you. I didn't want to give you any questions. I changed the questions a little bit. They're a little bit the same. I just didn't want you to come in here fully scripted for anything I had to say.
Right.
Well, first off, some of these are going to be just what I need to ask. You know, why are you running for city council?
Part of the reason I'm running for city council is because I've been on the council before, and I understand how that's supposed to work. And what I see happening now on the council is not how it should work. You should have a unified council, or you should at least be able to work together.
When you say unified, I think that's what we're having a problem with right now. Everybody is unified against the mayor.
Right.
They're unified in their talking points. They're unified in everything. So what do you mean unified?
What I mean is, I'm not against opposing views. I think you need those. I think you need more than one perspective. But I think you need a common decency in how you work together.
So if you had to sum this up in a short little thing, what is your vision for Pilot Point?
My vision for Pilot Point is a safe, secure place for families to live, for people to. We're gonna get people moving in here, and the first thing you have to have is a safe, secure community. People that are going to move here are going to look into what's the school like, what's the fire department like, what's the police department like, what's the crime like, what's the infrastructure like, and if they don't like it, they're not going to move here.
So you're big on safety because that's your background. So right. What do you do for a living?
I'm a firefighter. I've been a firefighter in June will be 30 years.
And as a firefighter, you've just had to put yourself on the line for other people for years.
Right.
So how is that going to work for city council? Your background, how does that prepare you for what you're about to do if you get elected to be one of our next city councilmen?
Well, you have to start with a servant's heart. You have to be willing to sacrifice yourself, your time for other people. And that's one of the number one things in the job that I do. That should be the number one thing in your city council. Two key things you have to be a leader, to be a good leader, is you have to be able to listen and you have to be humble. You know, that's one of the things about me is I'm going to listen to you. You may not like the answer that I have, but I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to take into account what you have to say as a citizen.
And that's what's missing right now in city council. We have a bunch of people that know better for us. They know exactly what we need. They know exactly what's best for me. I love the idea that you want to listen to the community. You want to listen to your constituents. Why do you think it's not like that right now?
Well, I think they're on the council right now. We've gotten to a point where there's a power struggle, and I see some things happening like the governance committee. I don't think the governance committee is formed the way the charter says that it can be formed. And if you look at every other committee that we have, it is made up of citizens. This one is made up of council members. Well, the council members are already on the council. I can understand a council member being a chair of the governance committee that's made up of the citizens, but how are you going to listen? How are you going to listen to the citizens if your committee is made up of only council members?
So they're basically misusing this governance to, it seems like, to sow division. I'm not going to go into that. We can go on all day for that one. Okay, let's move on. What are your three priorities for if you get elected for city council?
Safety and security, transparency, accountability, and infrastructure. Those are the three big things for me.
So I heard you went door knocking this weekend. So
I did.
tell me about that.
My family and I went. We went to Moberly Farms. We went out there and knocked on a lot of doors and talked to some people and learned that some of them don't even know that they're in the city of Pilot Point. They don't know that the people that are on the council make decisions for what happens out there. I talked to one guy that his fence had just burned down, and the fire department, which the way we have it now, the fire department took about 15 or 20 minutes to get to his house. Luckily, his house didn't burn down, but that was because the neighbor, according to him, the neighbor saved his house because the neighbor happened to be home. But those are the type of things that we have to bring that 15 or 20 minutes down to 6 minutes, 7 minutes, or less.
What else did you learn by knocking all those doors? And how many doors do you think you knocked that day?
I don't know how many people are in Moberly Farms, but there are a bunch. And I knocked on a bunch of doors. And it's a pretty diverse community out there. There's a lot of people that are concerned. People out there are concerned about the same things that people are concerned about here. They're concerned about their taxes. They're concerned about the growth. They're concerned about the same things that we're concerned about here in town, but some of them don't even know that the people here in town, the council here in town, is who makes the decisions for them.
Wow. So what was the reaction when you told them that, you're running for city council in Pilot Point? And so what was their reaction to that? Were they surprised, shocked? Were they like, well, do I need to get involved? Are they motivated to get involved?
The ones I talked to were the guy that had his fence burned down.
That's awesome. Was there any other conversations that you had on your day of door knocking that you would want to just comment on?
I talked to one lady that she happened to be out washing her car, and I walked up and talked to her, and she said, she pays attention, and that's one of the things. Those people out there are paying attention to. All of them may not necessarily know that the council here decides on stuff out there, but there are some of them out here that have paid attention to all the controversy that's in this town, and she was very supportive of the mayor.
Well, that's very interesting, because if some of them don't know that they're a part of Pilot Point, but yet they know the drama that's happening in Pilot Point, were they concerned about their rights? Were they concerned about 6 council members don't understand what representation is? They seem to be there to represent the city and not us. Right. So did they understand that?
Some of them did, some of them didn't. Some of them had no clue that the people that were representing them were here. Wow.
So what do you feel you're going to do different to change that idea that they don't know? And since you've been door knocking, what's come to you of how to change that?
When I was on the council before, when I interviewed, I replaced a council member that vacated her seat. And one of the things in my interview that I said back then was we need to educate the citizens on how city government works and how all these developments and things work. We need to engage with those people that are out in those communities and those developments, and we need to educate them on how things work, who represents them, and give them some peace of mind that they're not just out there by themselves. They're part of Pilot Point.
So what you're talking about is communication.
Right.
You want to communicate better than what we have been doing, and that's following suit with what you've said. You want transparency. I mean, that's what it takes. It takes communication with the citizens, because we need to be involved. We need to hear what you think. Because if you're not speaking for us, you don't need to be up there. And I think that's a lot of what's happening right now. They have just gone along to get along with whoever is chosen to go up there and represent the city, and they don't know what they're doing. But like I said, I can't get into that.
Well, I could tell you this. There's, if I'm elected, I'm not going to be bought. I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to play favorites. I'm here to represent the citizens. And that's the whole reason I got into this deal. I've told people before, I'm not on this team or that team. I'm on Team Citizen. The citizens are who I'm in this for, because I'm one of them.
I am glad that segue, you brought that up, because you are a part of Team Citizen. You have Kelly, you have Stephen, and yourself. And all of you have this, what I've noticed, you have a need to serve. And that's so refreshing to see that people are starting to stand up and wanting to serve. And I just appreciate you, because it's hard serving. You put yourself on the line. So how will you reconcile with people that think you're not doing a good job?
Well, you have to listen to those people too. Interacting with some of the people that don't really support me, they've made up their mind. They've told me, I'm sorry, I'm not going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for the other guy. Well, I'm respectful to those people too. I listen to those people, and I've had a lot of those people engage with me and have, if they give me an opportunity to talk to them, to listen to them, they find out that I'm not their enemy. I'm here to help them, and so they'll engage with me. They'll give me advice. They'll actually talk to me, even though they may not necessarily have started out agreeing with me. And seems like we've had the whole Facebook conversation mentality for a long time. Is I'm gonna say to you what I want to say, and I know I'm not going to change your mind, and you're not going to change my mind. So we can sit here and argue, and neither one of us is going to give an inch, because neither one of us is going to listen. And that's not how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to listen to those people, and I'm going to be respectful. And I have been respectful to. Now I've got some hate, and anytime you put yourself out there, you're going to get some. You're going to get a little bit of the hatefulness. And for me,
are you trying to say that idle chatter brings the worst out of people?
I have seen some pretty hateful stuff on there.
Yeah, I mean, when I was on city council, I remember talking in these executive sessions, and they would bring idle chatter in there, and it wasn't a place for that.
No.
We are the leaders of the city. What is being said online, unless it's, hey, councilman, can you please discuss this or talk about this? But bringing up gossip that happens out on the street, that is just, as a leader of the city, you should be so much above that.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if they're supporting you, if they're hateful to you, if they're not hateful to you. If they're saying something to you, you have to listen, and you have to figure out what it is they're saying. What are they asking me for? What are they telling me for? What is it that this person is so passionate about that they're yelling at me? I have to, as that council member, that leader, you have to figure out what it is that's that person's hot button issue. And if it's something that you need to bring forward to the council, you got to listen to those people and bring it forward, whether they like you or not.
And that's a good thing. You just want to represent the people. So Brian, how long have you lived here?
I have lived in Pilot Point since 2008, but I have lived in this area since I was 6 years old, and I'm 52 now. So 46 years I've been in this area, and I've got a lot of experience in this area with a lot of friends and a lot of people, and I'm pretty invested in the people around here. My daughter lives here. with her husband. My granddaughter's here. My family's here. I've got a lot of friends that are like family to me that live here. So I'm heavily invested in Pilot Point.
Wow, so that's amazing to hear. So what I'm hearing is, because I'm a new guy. I've been here for 3.5 years. So there's old Pilot Point and there's new Pilot Point. And you're saying you're old Pilot Point and you care about new Pilot Point? That's absolutely amazing.
Well, some of the old Pilot Point would probably not consider me old Pilot Point, but I've been here I've lived in this town since 2008. And I lived down the road in Aubrey since I was 6.
Wow.
So I've been in this area for a long time, and we didn't have Pee Wee sports down there. We had to come up here and play Pee Wee sports when I was little. So I know a lot of these people around here, and so I'm invested.
Well, from a new guy, I say you are old school Pilot Point, because Aubrey and Pilot Point, they should be partners, which they are a lot more today than they were yesterday. But
Yeah.
but man, I just love. I guess I'm going to end with this one. Why should the people of Pilot Point choose you to be their next councilman?
Well, the thing about who to choose is you need somebody that's going to listen to you. You need somebody that's going to communicate with you. And you need somebody that knows how to be a leader. And being a leader is not easy. It's a hard thing to do. And I think we have some people that have never really been leaders. And we have some that are good leaders, and we have some that are not. And the ones that are not are the ones that probably aren't communicating with you and aren't humbling themselves enough to sit down and listen to you.
They're not communicating with the citizens, but they're definitely communicating with themselves.
Absolutely.
At least that's what Justin said. But anyway, oh gosh, I can't even add that either, because I love it. I love that you have been here so long. You care about the cities. You care about this area, and you want to help lead this area, which is absolutely amazing. And I appreciate your time. It's been crazy. You're about to get into it, man. It's going to get crazier from here. You're going to do a lot more door knocking, and I can't wait to hear all that stuff. I need to come out there and door knock with you guys.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be fun. And if you want to come and help us get the word out to the city of Pilot Point, get a hold of Team Citizen. How can I contact you?
I'm on Facebook. I think my phone number is out there. Typically, if you call me and I don't know the number that's calling me, I don't answer the phone. But if you leave me a message, I'll call you right back. I screen my calls most of the time.
So give me your phone number.
940-300-4231.
Outstanding, Brian. Thank you so much for joining me. I think this is going to be an interesting race. And hey, we'll see how this all falls apart. Or we'll see how this all turns out.
Yeah, all right.
Have a good one.
You too.